3 weeks in a row. Woo, 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 woo. That's right, that's 3 weeks in a row of On Time RuPaul's Drag Race Season 6 reviewing. Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Who the man? He the man. No, I demand. Do you like that? Huh? 3 weeks in a row? Come on, 3 weeks in a row? Hey everybody. Another week is gone and another queen is gone. Our favorite underdog, Jocelyn. Miss Fox, if you're nasty, she's gone. Sad face. She was a sweetheart and she showed great humility, and I 1000% eat my words that I spewed on my first impression / predictions video for season 6, because actually, you know, I eat a lot of my words because this devastatingly handsome Poppy has gotten just about every prediction wrong thus far. It's like, oh, flipping well, right? So let's do a review on the glitter ball. Let me begin my next statement with adore. You know I love you. Girl, you are my favorite along with Bianca Del Rio. And I have my Bianca Del Rio and Adore Delano t-shirts ordered and in transit. But girl, I know you were kidding me with the I am the next Trinity comment. I know you meant in context of surviving lip syncs, but her quality of lip syncs plus her quality of runway was far superior to anything this season. And if she had more confidence, she'd be in that workroom about to slay that glitter ball challenge. So if we're gonna be real here, I mean, you're hella charismatic and talented and can sing, and you can entertain us. But Trinity, my dear, you are not. And honestly, look, it's good you're not Trinity. I mean, because you're still here. Oh, I did notice the subtle foreshadowing about her being in a slump and not being in the bottom 2 again. Even with a sewing challenge coming up, everyone, including my bestie Helen Keller, knew she was gonna win the next one because A, Bianca already has 3 wins, and B, Courtney's super polished. So Adore needs a 3rd win to solidify her spot coming up in the finale, because I can tell by the little 10-minute preview next week that they're painting Courtney to get her 3rd win and possibly a Darian Bianca. For shame, Ru. Lip sync for your life, where Bianca will undoubtedly send Darian home, because I could not imagine Drag Race doing 2 absolutely boneheaded things 2 weeks in a row, right? Could they? But as Dayla was talking in her confessional, I was all Whoopi Goldberg and Ghost, you in danger, girl. I love that so much, I think I'm gonna say it again. Dayla, you in danger, girl. Oh, I know I already basically just spoiled the ending of this review, but you know what? I give no fucks, because what the hell happened? I don't have logo, and you know the app doesn't start airing the episodes until like after the West Coast has seen it. So I'm on Reddit like the drag stalker that I am, and I'm reading posts as shit transpires, and I say the word shit loosely because there's a Tourette syndrome laundry list of adjectives I'd rather use, but this is a kid's show. And I'm like gasping at what I'm reading, and I'm seeing the actual emotional response by a good sampling of people, because Reddit is no small website here, and I was rolling my eyes, putting Bianca to shame because of how predictable it was getting. Honestly, if Bianca was still not on this show, I would stop watching this season and definitely stop buying my episodes on iTunes and save money, because I feel like I'm spending blood money at this point because of the level of WTF-ness I'm seeing. If controversy in only reality TV land sort of way, calm down folks, I know it's not that serious, but let's put on our imagination jackets and our dream caps on and pretend that there's nothing more important than this show at this moment. And like I said, if controversy is what they're going for, then hooray! They have succeeded, RPDR. And back to this episode, because I just went all Nicki Minaj, Mariah Carey on Idol just now. But don't y'all love Bendela saying Bianca is coasting to the point she's like laying on the couch and comparing it to herself being smugged and then being in danger of elimination? Bendela, please have some seats, because we already know what happens. I bet you the producers are holding back their laughter behind her back when she's saying this, because she should have focused on herself more when she said that. And have y'all noticed that they've been doing a really subtle name shift this season? Rewind the season, everyone. They start by adamantly calling her Dayla. And when I'll Never Tell You on Reddit, he says that it's an ABCD Final Four and everyone assumes it's going to be Dayla, there begins this like really subtle shift of them starting to call her Bendela. And even Bianca starts using that. And we all know Bendela is not supplanting Bianca in the B spot, but I started noticing in critiques and such that they started shifting her name from Dela to Bendela. And I was like, this is a weird sort of transition. It's just a thought, but it's kind of weird, because if she's not Dela, then the D must be Darian? And as you can tell, the theme of this rant this week is conspiracy theories. I should be playing Lauryn Hill's Jam from Conspiracy Theory in the background. It might calm me down. But then I get some copyright infringement warning, and then they'd hunt me down and throw me in prison with like built tattooed men's. Ooh. Don't threaten me with a good time, YouTube. Y'all tempting me now. Let me find this damn music. Back to the episode for reals. And Courtney actually nails it when she's saying that she wrote down that in the beginning, she had a little notebook and she wrote down like the 5 people that were going to be her pick for the top 5, and it's the same 5 people that are still there, and saying it was really the best of a bad bunch. And I was like, whoop! I hate to say true, because a lot of the so-called bad queens weren't as bad as I predicted, while some of the good queens have not been as good as I predicted, so to each their own. So as you may or may not know, I live for the puppet challenge every season, because it's like a better version of the reading challenge, because everyone loves puppets. I love how they drag out their boy puppets. And did y'all get the subtle reads even when they're picking out their puppets? Like Adore going, oh fuck, when Bianca picks her, knowing Bianca can read everyone to filth. And Dela, yep, I'm using Dela to protest, even says out of everyone to make fun of, Bianca gets the easiest. Ooh, that's another read. Or when Dela picks Bianca's and has to shut its mouth because Bianca comments too much. And then there was Courtney. Okay, her read was not subtle at all. Wondering if the glory hole to pick out the remaining puppet was big enough to squeeze the Darian puppet out. I was like, bitch. Moving on, I was seriously laughing my butt off at this mini challenge. Adore's Dela voice was spot on. Like, spot on in the way like maybe they wake up lovingly next to each other every morning so she could study that Dela I took a whole bottle of Ativans then smoked up voice. And then Bianca nails Adore's overuse of fuck and party. But we already know the star of this challenge is Dela's Bianca puppet, who I personally feel is easier to mock than Adore, because Bianca has given us an encyclopedia full of catchphrases this season. Let's just be honest here. But I laughed so hard, almost as much as when Bianca called that guy a female gremlin. But Dela nails it and wins deservedly. Lord, if they could have based the bottom 2 from that mini challenge, then Courtney's not even close impersonation of Darian and Darian's accurately low energy and full of themselves Courtney act impersonation would have been in trouble. And Dela makes a subtle comment about knowing that if she hitched a ride on the Del Rio wagon, that she'd ride herself to victory. It's a solid strategy. So our main challenge this week is the Glitter Ball, the first annual Glitter Ball, where our queens have to serve not 1, not 2, but 3 distinct looks on the runway, including Banji Girl Glamour, Platinum Card Executive Realness, and then the Eleganza Jeweled Inspired Final Ball look. And as winner, Dela gets to assign the queens to their jewels. I'm not sure how she picks which queen gets what. I'm not even sure if there really is an advantage here, because I mean, you get your color jewel and you just work with it. There's not one jewel easier than the other in my opinion. Although many on Reddit are up in arms that Dela gives Adore the easiest gem, the diamond, because had she given her something more tricky, then it would most certainly mean the end of Adore's run, because she can't sew. But Dela, she's kind of like Bianca. They don't have to sabotage like the other contestants to win. And although Darian's sort of right about helping yourself before helping others, Adore's also kind of correct that you don't have to screw people over to do it. And cue another Dela dig about how good Bianca is. At least she recognizes greatness when she sees it. Oh, you know, on a side note, I kind of feel bad about Bianca being excited to see Bob Mackie, being the guest judge, knowing that what's going to transpire on the runway. And speaking of that runway, how about the bonus pressure of Dela also being in charge of choreography? Bitch can't dance. And with the remaining 5 being so opinionated, so the fuckery of that rehearsal was like, duh. What did you expect when you leave those 5 queens to their devices? The 5 most opinionated and out there queens. I didn't even see what could resemble anything close to a full routine there, so I was like scratching my head. This head, you pervs. So let's talk about the workroom segment. The one where Ru visits. It was another snore fest to me, because we had Adore freaking out, not knowing how to sew, again. Then we had Darian getting tripped up, not knowing how to answer a question that Ru asked, again. And then another throwaway interaction with Dela, again. And no extra time with Courtney, thankfully. Again. I would have liked some Bianca interaction, but Ru probably is like, bitch can sew and I have to buy my wardrobe, so I'll just leave her be. Good move, Ru. It's cute to see Bianca lending a helping hand to her new drag daughter, Adore, yet again. Though I can see the other queens going, you don't need to help her. Ru loves her enough as it is without the professional seamstress helping her design. They're so jealous. So now on to the runway. I'm really just blazing through this review here because it's just so much fuckery. So I was so excited to see the 3 looks from each queen, I can't lie. So let's dissect each one and how I would have placed them had they humbly asked for my opinion. Okay, before I do that though, that opening number, it's probably the worst I've seen from all seasons, but like, what did you expect? The song this year was nowhere near the energy of any of the past seasons, so the queens don't have like much to work with. At least we see that Bianca can handle a lip sync quite well, and I was not really feeling Courtney's possessed wide-eyed thing she does, similar to when she did the singing challenge. I liked it back then, but now it annoys me, and it's kind of scary. Her eyes get that wide open. So let's talk about the Banji realness look. I'm not afraid to admit I didn't really know what Banji was, even when Monica Beverly Hills doing it mentioned she was one of those last season. But I think I got the point after the first runway. Of the 5 looks, Adore and Bianca were, in my opinion, the best. Bianca channeling Mary J. Blige, high-end Banji realness, and it was amazing. And Adore, I mean, come on. She brought out Angel Baby and called it a day. Although I liked Bianca's look the most, I give round 1 to Adore because she had Angel Baby attitude. Courtney felt middle to me, like a poser trying too hard to be Banji. Like Sandy in Grease, or whoever Michelle Pfeiffer played in the sequel of Grease. Becoming a bad girl but not really pulling it off because, I mean, come on. Dela was 4th in my opinion. I wasn't feeling those oversized arm loofahs. And bringing up the rear was Darian Lake. I was like, what was that? If she's going for a tacky Nicki Minaj rap video Banji, then yes, I'll give her more points. Then we got Platinum Executive Realness. This round went to Bianca for me, and here's why. She showed us those killer legs and was put together from head to toe yet again. And what I think the stars for the most was that Bianca did not do the most overplayed executive realness shtick in the book that went even as far back as season 1. The damn cell phone, I'm the boss and I'm yelling at my subordinates while schmoozing with my clients gag. Courtney. It's such a tacky cliche. The only one I enjoyed was the oversized construction foreman phone that Alaska pulled out last season. But yeah, Bianca was my best in this category. I gave Courtney 2nd here begrudgingly because although it looked just like her Broadway singing look, even down to the finger waves in her hair, it was executive realness. Adore was 3rd here for me because I honestly think it's just black pants and a white men's shirt anyone could grab. But I did like her channeling Britney Spears and Womanizer with this look down to the glasses and the hair. I gave her bonus points for that. Dela was 4th again for me here because it was a little campy. It was kind of also a little eccentric cat lady who's also a real estate agent in my opinion. And yet again, Darian was pulling up the rear. It did not look music executive to me and it looked like she was in pain walking in those heels. The dripping and eleganza look, honestly, I am probably going to get hate for this, but I think Adore nails her eleganza look. It's edgy, her hair is everything, I even like the tutu. I give 2nd to Courtney Act. Gasp, I know. Not because it's the best constructed outfit, but because of her skill set, it was at least intriguing to look at. And she did sell it on the runway. I gave Dela and Bianca a tie for 3rd here. I love Bianca's sewing ability and how well her gowns are constructed. I just kind of wish she went a little further with her eleganza look. Maybe added more volume to it or even went the route of her looks that she rocks when she hosts Mardi Gras events. Like steal some of the showgirl thunder from Dela. The blue looked good, but I wanted more. And Dela, I mean, it's another showgirl look. I think she actually has other dresses that are like the exact same thing, but were purchased, so she probably just pulled one of those out of the closet and copied it glue for glue. But it looked okay for me. And then Darian, okay, yeah, she's last again in my opinion, but I actually thought the hair color and the makeup is stunning and I like her idea with the jewels. But in the end, it's just another big gown. I was hoping for something more from her here too, just like I was hoping for more from Bianca. So if I tally my results correctly, Adore has 2 wins and a 3rd in our categories, so that makes her the winner here. Bianca has 1 win, a 2nd, and a 3rd, so she's our runner-up, and she totally could have won if her final look was more, you know, wow. Courtney has a 2nd place and 2 3rd place finishes, so she was 3rd in the end for me. Dela was 4th twice and 3rd another time, so she was 4th, and Darian was last in all 3 categories. It's just my opinion. So aligning my opinions with the judges' opinions, I was almost accurate, but they somehow gave Courtney a higher mark than Bianca, I think. I have no idea why, but I've noticed something recently with what they're trying to do with Bianca. Everyone is calling her the presumed frontrunner and winner, so to add suspense, they've been trying to paint her more vulnerable so it's not like a landslide victory. And they do it yet again in next week's 10-minute preview. And I'm all for trying to manufacture some suspense, but we all know that though she's not a dancer per se, she's done Broadway, she knows how to pick up choreography, and thus far she's nailed all of what's asked of her in her choreography dating back to the Broadway singing challenge. So them making it like she's fucking up bad in the music video shoot is like, either you told her to stumble on purpose for drama, or she's doing it on purpose to not look so much better than the rest. It's just, like, Lord, it's more manufactured than late 90s and early 2000s pop music. Okay, so now let's critique the critiquers, the judges. Something crawled up all of their asses tonight and, I don't know, died or body snatched them. I agree with, like, the spirit of what they were saying about Dela, but I don't agree that they should have went all in on her like that. She was not as bad as they were making her sound. The lack of critique for Adore, however, I mean the absolute lack. Or they didn't show any on screen. Shell had not one side comment or not one negative comment. I mean, she didn't even read the executive look at all. Bob motherfucking Mackie complimented the final look. Yes, I liked it, but Bob Mackie, he shouldn't have liked it. He should have liked Bianca's look or even Dela's look. That's more Bob Mackie to me. I mean, the producers should have just saved us hours of viewing tonight and just said in the beginning that they're going to give this win to Adore. And don't get me wrong, I think she did win, but the lack of any constructive criticism or the editing to make it look like she had no constructive criticism was so severe. I was like, I know Chloe has no right to talk about versatility when it comes to like Bianca. When watching any episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians with their incessant whiny tone for years, you could cut and paste any episode together because they're all so similar. And she's critiquing about versatility. And then Darian's critiques, accurate. Courtney's critiques. Okay, thank you, Michelle, for agreeing with me that her Banji realness was wrong on her. And speaking of which, why didn't they give any praise to Bianca's Banji realness? Would like praising two of her looks defeat their vulnerability storyline because it would have pushed her ahead of Courtney? And then Santino saying Courtney's final look was the best of all their looks. I mean, no. Not at all, Santino. And we can't not talk about the dreaded who should go home next question. It's the starter of many feuds and drama, and Ru loves to spring it on everyone and then get pissed off when they try to be diplomatic instead of feeding into her bullshit because she wants them to be pissy with each other. Every queen universally says Darian should be the next one to go home. Hell, even Darian says Darian. Though Courtney throws in the door too. Then the Dela Bianca moment happened and it's like, what the fuck just happened? I was like, WTF Bianca? And then I was actually like, lay off Bianca. You have been doing no wrong and then you decide to pull that random shit during judging? Yeah, see, now I'm convinced they're telling you to stumble a little. I'm convinced of it now because you're too composed every single week to finally just throw a tantrum on something so benign. It was like a veiled compliment because Dela was saying you're making this competition look easy because you are. Everyone sees you're better than the rest. Yeah, it was kind of condescending of Dela to bring it up right then, but because I think she could have been implying Bianca's already too polished and maybe should not have been there competing because she's too far ahead of the rest of this group to be considered fair. But Bianca's reaction was too extra to be real. How was the producers telling Bianca to ramp something up? Whew, I'm getting sleepy. I took some Benadryl, y'all. Whew. Anywho, and then the judges were contradicting themselves. Chloe was reading Bianca for showing the same thing over and over, like her same silhouette from when she first judged to when she's judging now. And then going on saying that's just how Courtney is when they say she relies on pretty. What is it, Chloe? Do you want something different or do you just want to give them a free pass because that's the way they are? If so, you should have given Bianca a free pass because that's her style. And then Santino complimenting Courtney when even the rest of the judges pointed out that he was complaining about the finishing details of it. And then Bob Mackie should have liked what Bianca made, and then Ru pointing that out. Then he says it's nothing he hasn't seen before. It's like, what is going on? I love my girls Adore and Bianca, but if I was Adore, I'd be kind of pissed off because they're heaping all of this praise on her, and it's causing people that watch this show to take their anger out on her because of its scripting on Adore, when it should be taken out on the judges and the producers. But in the end, Bianca is high safe, Courtney is low safe, Adore wins, and that damn costume that she wins was sweet. And then it's Darian and Dela part 2 in the lip sync. I think it's the first time in this show's like history where two of the same exact queens battle it out twice on a lip sync for your life. And there's this interesting thread on Reddit that takes into account the moment when Ru says when it's time for them to lip sync for their lives, and there's the lightning and thunder noise and the boat foghorn noise. And for the most part, the queen pictured during like the lightning thunder noise wins the lip sync, and the one getting the foghorn loses. And it's been wrong maybe a couple of times, but the rest of the season it's been correct. And it was tonight as well. Big D got the lightning and thunder and Dayla got the foghorn. I was like, whoopee, yet again, you in danger, girl. It was another disappointing lip sync, though it was a step up from last week's. I didn't like the song choice. It's a great song, but not for lip syncing. I mean, this has probably been the worst season for lip syncs, I think. I mean, it's hard to top Alyssa and Coco or Sharon, Manila, Latrice. I mean, this has been a bad lip sync for your life season, with the exception of Trinity. But in the end, Ru decides to fart in the face of many fans and send Dayla home. The lip sync was evenly matched to me, but Dayla commanded your attention more. She was a little flaily, but I mean, didn't they just reward Adore last week for even more flaily performance of a song not nearly as powerful? I can see why people online are crying for blood, because this is just wrong. I mean, eliminate them both so at least there's some sort of satisfaction, but to keep Darian when she is obviously the least favorite of the reigning queens is beyond my comprehension. I mean, she's won one challenge, but she's been pretty low in all the rest. I'm feeling bamboozled, I'm feeling flabbergasted. This means since we still have a top 4 we're going to eliminate next week, and it's obvious Darian would be the natural choice to go next, like Jocelyn was cannon fodder last episode. It's obvious they want to put Bianca in the ring with her so we can see Bianca go into the fray, but she's earned her spot in the finale. I wonder if they'll just go screw it. We're going to put Bianca and Courtney in the bottom 2 next week, and whoever wins that's going to be the champion of the whole season. So let me start talking about Untucked, because I'm already rambling longer than Dayla's farewell message on that mirror. Okay, time for Untucked! I'm glad the first part of Untucked happened, because the Bianca overreaction was not sitting well with me. And Dayla got to say what she really meant, and to explain that Bianca is an inspirer, not a coaster or a sailor. And I understand Bianca's frustrations at that point. It's kind of like me. Like, being a gay man, I kind of have to develop a really thick skin, because if I like cowered or cried or ran away, like every time I got a dirty look, or every time I was called a fag growing up, every time I was called a queer or an abomination, or the time that someone religious said my mother should have aborted me, like if I got upset every time things like that were like said to me, I'd be an angry person all the time. But I do still have triggers. When someone questions my work ethic, or when someone questions me about a topic that I'm really knowledgeable on, or when someone questions like my integrity or my intelligence, then I really fly off the handle without really catching myself. I think that's what was Bianca's reaction. When someone makes her feel she's not applying herself or not working hard, it's a trigger, because Bianca has been stressing that queens need to apply themselves, and for one to call her out, making her think that she's not applying herself, I can see how she flies off the handle. I mean, who wants to be called a hypocrite? So then we segue into the queens discussing why they all picked Darian to be the next one to go home. I mean, it's Untucked and Ru already pushed the buttons, so let's carry through, shall we? Except we didn't get a payoff. We get an actual moment where Darian gets it, and it's like, wow, she does not blame them for picking her, and she agreed with them and thanked them for their honest critique, because it was on point. And she dropped the ball, pun intended. And I think Darian pointing out that honesty from her friends will never hurt, like the fat jokes from internet trolls, it's a poignant moment, because she's probably had to endure a lot of people outside of this show, you know, with her size, being gay, being a drag queen, and people who can hide behind anonymity online and have free reign to say whatever bullshit comes to mind, because we can't seek out their IP addresses or get their real address like Jay and Silent Bob did when they were facing their internet trolls. Or was it Randall? I think it was Randall. Remember? I think it was on Clerks Part 2. Excellent movie. You should really check that out. The walk down memory lane segment was actually adorable. I thought I'd hate it, but I didn't. The reads were funny as hell. Adore asking what the hell is that troll when looking at Magnolia's photo. And the subtle, oh, that troll, like from Bianca when they find out it's Laganja's baby photo. And Adore saying younger Bianca looks like someone she used to date. I mean, he was handsome when he was younger, no lie. And then, or Adore being excited that her photo had a hickey on her neck. She's like, look at the hickey, look at the hickey. And Bianca's dig about Darian's photo and sepia tone, etc., etc. It was enjoyable. Discussing their impressions of the other queens and such, it was a good segment, But then it was time for the pink box gold bar segment, and I was cringing because I usually don't like these. And we finally get Bianca's turn to be the focus of the pink box. And it's actually a genuinely sweet segment. It was a great moment, because Bianca gets a little card or a little letter from Lola, who's like a gal pals of his daughter, who's about to turn 8 years old. And it's a really adorable little message from this girl who's really close to Bianca / Roy. And she's growing up around Roy Lady, as she calls Bianca, for her, you know, I guess her entire young life. So she really connects with Bianca. And from the handwritten letter, you see, like, she's a pretty smart girl for her age. And it's nice to see the human side of Bianca some more. I mean, I wish she had, like, her video moment, but this was just as sweet. But, you know, everybody else got a little video message, so it'd be cool if she got a video message too. But it was a really sweet, touching, tender moment. And it was nice to see, like I said, the human side of Bianca. And it's honestly probably the closest we're going to see her, like, cry this season. The Trinity HIV moment was really close, though. In Adore's confessional about loving Bianca so much she wants to hug her tit, these two have really formed a bond, and I'm glad. But I'm glad we had Darian there to diffuse the situation, diffuse the mushy moments, and she comments something, you know, little, you know, playfully cunty, and Bianca harking back to Laganja's, "You're stealing my moment!" That gag will never get old. Like, Laganja did leave an impression. You go, girl. I loved it, though. Then they also point out that Darian is the longest lasting Facebook favorite on the show from all the seasons thus far. I think Jessica Wilde was previously when she was on season 2. I think she was the fan vote back then too. So this year Darian does one better, and she's one step away from the finale if she makes it, so she'd be the first big girl in the finale. So, ooh, you never know. We could be breaking some barriers this season. Oh, and then I have to gag about that moment when they're sitting in the Gold Lounge and Adore's like, "Courtney, one of your balls popped out." I was like, what is Adore even looking in that area for? And I was just like, holy crap, that's totally unscripted. That's some real moments right there. I was like, I don't know what I would do with myself. I'd be like, balls. But then I was like, it's Courtney's balls. And I'd be like, ugh. And I have to like wash my mouth out and drink like the whole bottle of Listerine or something just to get the taste out of my mouth. But Adore points it out and Courtney's like, oh, let me cross my legs, you know, sit like a lady. So finally, before I close this video, now that Bendela's gone, Ben de la Creme, do we have to shuffle our Miss Congeniality poll now? Because I think it's like a horse race between Dela, Trinity, and Jocelyn Fox now, as far as who's going to be Miss Congeniality. So I don't know who's going to win that. I think Jocelyn had been the front runner, and then Trinity started like charging up when she got eliminated, and of course Dela's been congenial the whole time. It's her character. So I don't know who's going to win Miss Congeniality now that Dela's been unceremoniously like eliminated in 5th place. I had said she was going to be in 4th place, but she's in 5th. So, I don't know. But yeah, that was my review of Glitter Ball. I know it was scattered and all over the place because I'm just so busy gagging about what the hell happened that episode. Like, first off, the people that I thought was going to do good, Bianca, faltered a little. Even though it was like the teeniest bit of a falter, she was still high safe. Like, she's still unsurpassed this season as far as like wins and high safes and all that stuff. So, but you know, I thought she'd probably win this one, but you know, Adore won. And then of course, you know, Darian was in the bottom 2, and she's a sewer. And then Dela, she puts together a hot outfit, and then she, you know, she got eliminated. So it was like a whole bunch of opposites this episode, and the judges were opposite from what I thought they were going to be too. Loving Adore, hating Bianca, and then they were just being contradictory a lot, and I was just like, I don't know. But now we only have our final 4. Next week is the music video to Sissy That Walk. We see the 10-minute preview already. You notice that they're painting Bianca to be struggling in their continuing arc of, you know, making her not appear to be such a front runner. But I know she's going to pull it together, but they're probably going to stick her in the bottom 2 anyway, just so she can lip sync for her life and send Darian home. I can't see them putting Courtney in the bottom 2 because I don't know, they just love Courtney or whatever. What I predict is it's probably going to be Bianca versus Darian in the bottom 2, and either they're going to send Darian home, or they're just going to be like, we'll keep you both and we'll have a final 4 for real. We just wanted to scare your pants off again. I don't know what's going to happen next week. Watch the 10-minute preview of next week's episode. If you have the Logo TV app on your iOS device or your Android device, make your predictions as well. There's a lot of fuckery going on. There's something foreshadowing next episode. I don't know what it is, but I'm rambling because my head is just spinning around in circles because I didn't think Dela was going to go home until the finale. So, you know, it's anybody's game at this point now. So that was, like I said, that's my review of Glitter Ball. And as always, I want to close my video with saying thank you so much. My subscriber count has gone up. It's gone over 100. I just looked yesterday and I'm like, holy crap, how did it get over 100 like that? So I really have to thank you. I guess maybe you guys are spreading word of mouth to one or two of your friends at a time, which I really appreciate. I love doing these reviews for y'all. I'm sad because we only have like, what, three, maybe 2 episodes left? I don't know. But I mean, RuPaul's Drag Race Season 6 has been such a fun time for me. This is the first time I've actually went through a whole season and reviewed something because I'm really new to YouTube. So I'm having a great time. Thank you for subscribing and sticking around with me and leaving comments. And I try to get back to everyone because I don't get that many comments, so it's really easy for me to get back to everybody. But one day I hope to be so overwhelmed that I can't get back to everybody. But thank you once again. I will see you next week. Let me stop flinging my arms around. I'm looking like Adore or Dela during a lip sync. Thank you, and I will see you next week.